Since I was able to get my other video up onto the computer into YouTube, I'm going to give it another try here. I'm doing a walk through park in Austin, the Greenbelt, along Barton Creek, and we'll be showing some of the nature that's around here. And I wanted to address some issues. This time I took some notes, but hopefully, I think at the end I want to put some links to some of the people that I source for information. I will mention some names. One is, right now, Karen Kingston needs to get some traction. She is a researcher of patents and data and information, and so she provides supporting evidence to her claims, which I feel is an important aspect, which I'm not an expert in, but I'm willing to listen to experts that are. And currently, the issue that's being brought up is the integration of technology into the the physiological experience of everything in nature. You as a human, as well as synthetic meats, GMO'd plants. So what we really need to question and answer to ourselves, is this something that we really need to be doing? Now, the people who are doing the work think so. But with most technology that I've observed over my lifetime is that there's seems to be a Taoist sort of experience with it. It can be used for good and it can be used for bad. For instance, the nuclear energy issue. That's just the most prominent one that I think everyone can agree upon. But right now, with the technology, the nano technology that is being injected into humans and into chimera creatures, making pigs with human faces, and the integration of our DNA with other things and other things into us may not be such a good idea. Let's see about that one right there. Oh, yeah. So anyway, Karen Kingston, you need to link into that. I want to go again on climate change, and that is, I just want to reinforce the idea that I don't want to hear anything about your ideas on climate change until you, who would disagree, will address the chemtrails and the HAARP program and the ongoing government control over our weather. Once we've addressed that, then we can see what is being done by us humans. And I use this one example for some people, and that is if you just go Google how much CO2 does an acre of hemp sequester, it will tell you, unless they change it, 25 acres of trees. In some places you can get 3-crop generation, harvest 3 times of this weed, which is also you can make hats, you can make clothes, you can make things with this. In fact, the whole country was built on hemp, if you don't recall, because you're too young. But in the 1700s, Jefferson was growing, your former president, acres and acres of hemp. It was used as rope, made bags, all that. Hemp is a worthy thing, but it doesn't need a lot of water, it doesn't need pesticides, it doesn't need fertilizers. So Not a lot of motivation on the capitalistic structure for that, but it doesn't diminish its value. But it does point out that if these globalist people who are always talking about, you know, the climate this, the climate that, we got to stop farming, blah, 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 then why aren't they growing hemp everywhere if there's too much CO2? Why aren't we doing things that would reduce the CO2 organically? You know, if you want to do something, let's use the science that's available to us and what we know. Let's see. Oh, this one's out there. Well, Satan's trap. You know, like all the Christians believe that Satan's on his way, that we're near the end times and things like that, which is possible, I suppose. There's a lot of indications that we're following the Revelations scriptures outlining the events that would be coming, and we've seen quite a few of them come into fruition. So, could be true. But wouldn't it be interesting to find out that Satan is AI? What if Satan is AI? It would make sense to me, because when you look at the influence of Satan into our society, everything is in chaos, upside down and backwards. And this is one of the other people you can kind of look into, Jonathan Kleck. Maybe I'll put the link into there. And he uses biblical scripture and some other methodologies to validate his viewpoints. But wouldn't it make sense that if God is organic, that Satan would be inorganic? If we're going to be talking about Taoist, dualistic, opposites, things like that, maybe. So that in itself may be a good reason to be careful with AI. Let's see. Oh yeah, that goes to transhumanism. And that goes to the law, the legal aspect of humanity. And that is under common law, which supersedes corporate and satanic law. That's what I'm going to call it, because it sure feels like it. If you lose your humanity, if you're no longer human, then you'll not be able to go to court and argue that they do not have control of you because you did not take their synthetic drugs that are patented and now integrated into your system, meaning that you're a GMO human. And so therefore, you won't be able to argue that point. Here, that's a lot better. You know, I look better at a longer distance away. That's what I see here. The further away I get, the better I look. Anyway, this is something people should look into. There's another guy, Mark Passio, Passio, former Satan priest who has converted to the other side because he sees the lack of value in materialism, which is the basis of satanic control. And the reason I think that is when you reflect back onto the Garden of Gethsemane and Jesus taking his 40-day fast and meditation, he's confronted with Satan, who offers him all the material world, all of it. That's because God had given Satan power and dominion over the material plane, which is why so many people have sold their souls for the money, the fame, the fortune, the absolute protection of Satan. I mean, look at the people who are not charged for the crimes against humanity that have sold their souls to Satan. They think that they're protected, but not to the end. They're not, and not from we the people. I always think about this. It's sort of crazy to me that you got 7 billion maybe now against maybe 10,000 at the top. If we were just to remove them from the face of the earth and split up their half of the wealth, they own half of the wealth of the world, half. And we split it up amongst the 7 billion, nobody would be poor. Nobody, not you, not me. So maybe that'll be what happens. And the reason I say that might happen is a lot of people worried that they're going to take control and all of that. But if we reflect back on how the United States was founded to begin with, it was a very small portion of the population that were actual patriots. A lot of them were indifferent or loyalist to the crown. And so it was really maybe 3%, I don't know, somebody check me on that. And it wasn't until the last second, basically, when Washington crosses the Delaware on Christmas and, attacks the German mercenary camp and subdues them. You paid money, you don't want to really die, so maybe that's why they gave up. But they were going in with frozen feet, fingers. This is their last-ditch effort. Man, it will only be that type of person. And who is that type of person? That's the type of person that has nothing left to lose. And when they say they're going to take everything away from you and you're going to be happy, they're only right about half of that. The other half of that is going to be the ones that say, if I got to go, you got to go with me. And it doesn't take very many of those guys because they will do it. Because desperation in humanity, in men, now they may be controlling a lot of minds with their technology and causing them to be zombies or freaks or whatever they're going to do with the minds that they control. But there will be those. I'm just basing that on history. I'm not threatening anyone or saying anything. It's just an observation. That's the way it really works out. So the elites who think that they're protected may be misinformed. Then let's see, what else here? How about literal? Pride goeth before the fall. Could it be that the pride that we're seeing now being projected on us is a sign before the fall? Just saying. I'm not against people and their, people's sexual lives are their business as far as I'm concerned. Well, of course, they're coming at me. And then I got to use some discernment. But no, I don't want to hear about your sexual life. I don't think anyone does. Okay, one last thing. What should we have learned from the Ukraine war and the destruction? A lot of people got suckered into this idea that we have to support war. Why? Why do we support war? Oh, we're going to support their democracy and their freedoms and help them to be free and all of that. But from our couch over here, I think you need to get off your couch, get onto your computer, and look at the death and destruction that's being done. Oh, we're going to blame Putin for that. No, blame goes both ways. If you provide the military arms to the Ukrainians in order to fight this fight, you're guilty. You are an accomplice. We, the United States, are an accomplice. The UN, NATO, we're all an accomplice in this war. There should be more effort put in to coming to a peaceful agreement and allow humans to live. There are going to be a whole lot of kids and families without fathers. And I know that now that they've canceled the father, they're going to cancel the mother too. Oh, we can't say that. Birthing person. You know, there's what is it? Well, the power of the spoken word, you know, the power of the spoken word is what is creation. You see that sky? Austin, Texas is under a haze. Ugh. From what? I don't know. Could be the smoke from Canada, the fires that were intentionally set all at once. Climate change. I've been alive long enough to see that the change in the climate, which has been minuscule, has been done purposefully, not by virtue of accident. Okay. I can't seem to load up anything over 2 gigs, so I'm going to give this a kill shot. And thank you so much if you listen and share this. I hope it helps someone, somewhere, somehow.